Why do cops charge some people and let others go? Is there criteria that they follow for this? Is there something that people can say or do, anything at all that would prevent themselves from being charged? Some people are charged, some people are let go. You know that for all kinds of offenses, shoplifting or theft, speeding. But why are some people charged and others let go? Is there clear, easy to understand criteria which has to be met so that a police officer is required to let you go and not lay charges? Well, no, there isn't. And that's part of the problem. There's too many unknowns. Why did one person get charged for theft, but the other person was let go? Why did one person get charged for speeding, 30 over the limit, but someone else was let go? One of the most powerful tools a police officer has is something called discretion. And thank God for it, because it means that they're not always required to charge somebody with an offense. They have the option to let them go. You get pulled over for speeding, you get a warning. Someone was caught committing theft, stealing something from a store. Okay, you got caught. You seem remorseful. You get a warning. Smarten up. But discretion, it can also get a police officer into trouble, a lot of trouble. Patterns can be formed, and police officers can be questioned by either their supervisors or sometimes other public organizations on some of their decisions if these patterns are noticed. So officer, just going through some of your notes here, some of your stats, how come you never give tickets to women? How come they're all men? Listen, I try to be open. I try to be as transparent as I can with these videos, but sometimes I forget details. But in policing, there's so many gray areas that it's hard to cover everything. But let's get to what most people want to know here. Is there something that you can do to get off with the warning when you're pulled over? I'm not talking about one police service in particular here. Besides my own career, I'm connected with thousands of cops right around the world. We have meetings in person, online, podcasts, we share stories. But I absolutely do know police officers that have certain criteria, which, if met, the person that they pull over is probably going to get off with a warning. Unless they're doing something, completely stupid. They're doing 100 over the speed limit in a school zone or something drastic, dangerous driving. They'll probably get off with a warning. Whether you agree or disagree, these are the facts. First example, there are police officers out there who are patriots. They love their country. They're proud of their country. Some cops are former military personnel. That's not uncommon at all, actually. So they don't give tickets to other patriots or other individuals who served. And how do they know? Having a sticker of your country's flag on the back of your vehicle, usually the rear window. If they pull somebody over with the country's flag on their vehicle, they're more likely to get off with a warning. That's it. It's simple. Unless they're hard criminals or wanted on a warrant, here's your warning. Have a great day. Some cops also have a personal rule where everyone gets one free pass. So they let them get away with something once without charging them at all or giving them a ticket. If it's their first time committing a crime or getting pulled over, they get a free pass. Of course, we know that it's not always the first time somebody breaks a law when they're pulled over. It's just their first time getting caught. Even with theft, if you're caught stealing, if it's your first time, you get let off with a warning. No charges. I would absolutely do this myself. First one is free. You got caught. You seem remorseful. I hope you learn your lesson. One cop, he was telling a story years ago to new recruits, long ago. He told a story, a traffic officer, but when he was a new police officer, there was a fire at his house. He heard about it. I don't know how, but he had wife and kids. He left work in his personal vehicle, so not his police car, and for him, it was pedal to the metal all the way. He was speeding, and no law, no ticket would have prevented him from getting home as fast as he could. He didn't give a damn. He didn't get caught, by the way, so he wasn't pulled over. And I'm sure, listen, you might say that the guy's a cop. He thinks he's above the law, rules for thee, but not for me, as they say. But this cop, throughout his entire career, he had the mentality that everybody gets a free pass because he understands that there are genuine emergencies out there. There's circumstances where the driver just might not have given a damn, like he didn't. Now, that's a drastic story. Not everyone has rules based on their own actions, but I think it's fair. Life happens, genuine emergencies, and you deal with it. You know how many people, when you pull them over, they use the excuse that it's an emergency when it isn't? Their spouse is sick and pregnant, there's something wrong, their mom needs help, so they need to get home in a hurry, take them to the hospital. And then you ask them, you get on the air, you ask them if they would like an ambulance dispatched to their house to assist with this. Well, no, it's not that bad of a situation. All of a sudden, it's not much of an emergency at all. I pulled a guy over years ago. I can't remember why, but he said he had to get to the hospital in a hurry. He was supposed to be there. The hospital was a block away. You could see it. Scarborough General. I was born in that hospital. Of course, I thought the guy was lying like everybody else. But then he shows me this machine in the front seat, and with these wires and tubes, he lifted up his shirt and they're all kind of going into his body. It was the oddest thing. It was actually disturbing, to be honest. He shouldn't have been driving. He was elderly. He was pretty miserable and set in his ways, but a genuine health concern. No, he wasn't charged. And the same goes for theft. I don't know any police officers who would actually follow through with charges if there was somebody stealing food or other items such as diapers for the family. People truly in need. I know grocery stores, they won't even bother calling the police if somebody's stealing food or, family supplies. Out of hundreds and hundreds of theft calls in my career, there was only one where a woman was genuinely at a loss in life and was stealing food for her family. Only once. The overwhelming majority of people committing theft, they're not stealing food or supplies for the family. They're younger people who want clothes they can't afford, but they're trendy. Shoes, shirts, video games, video game consoles, electronics, of course, phones and tablets, watches and jewelry, not to sell for money, but for themselves. All these jewelry store robberies you see these days, the smash and grabs are covered all over the media. You'll always have people that say they're doing it to get money or to support themselves or their family. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that's probably not the case. But even people who steal something small, and I'm talking about theft here, okay? Not robbery towards a person or smash and grabs, theft under. Most cops I know give people one chance. They're remorseful, again, smarten up. If they're not remorseful or if they're lying, then charge them. It doesn't take long at all. The way the paperwork goes, it's almost just as much paperwork to charge them as it is to release them without charges. But I would give a free pass as well. Most of the time, if it was a first offense. So how do warnings work? How would a police officer even know that somebody was given a warning? Wouldn't it have to be documented? Well, yes, it would. Let's say you get pulled over for speeding or having your windshield tinted, which is illegal. Once the cop has your information, your driver's license, they swipe it, the computer, the in-car console, it populates with all the person's information. Same with the vehicle once you enter the plate. The officer can view previous offenses. They can see maybe you were given a warning for speeding last week. So this time you're going to get charged. Or 6 months ago, the driver was given a warning for the tinted windshield. So now they're going to get charged. Warnings are entered into the computer. It's, again, very quick. And they're even printed out and handed to the driver in some cases. When I first got on, when I was hired as a police officer, it was a lot more time consuming. Everything was handwritten. And if you gave a warning, unless it was written down and entered on something called a 208, other police officers wouldn't know. But a 208, it was a great tool for those type of incidents. There's another word for them, which I'm not going to get into, but they were a fantastic tool. There's no criteria, and there's very little that a driver can do to say or convince a police officer to let them off with a warning. Sometimes it's purely the attitude test. If you get pulled over and you're confrontational, you're argumentative, you're most likely to get a ticket. If you admit that what you did is wrong, you still might get a ticket, but if you're a pleasure to deal with, the officer might decide to let you off. I gave more warnings than tickets all the time, and this is on record. I gave more warnings because I hated court. I was fine testifying and everything else, but I enjoyed my days off, and I didn't want to spend time in court. Sometimes it's like that. So what happens when police pull you over anyways? What information can they get access to from your driver's license or from the license plate? What can they find out about you? And how come it takes them so long when they're sitting back in a car anyways? I made a video about this, and I go through the process step by step. I walk you through. Please check it out. It'll be in the description, but I'm also going to post it here. I can never really tell which side it's going to be on, but it walks you through the process. It's informative, so please feel free, have a look. I would love your feedback on this. Maybe you have something to add. Maybe you have experience that you would like to share. I appreciate you taking the time. I read every single comment and I respond when it's appropriate to do so. So listen, folks, thanks for watching this video. Be safe out there, look after one another, and perhaps we will see you again. And actually, one more thing. I kind of got a new setup here. I moved around a little bit. I don't have the lighting worked out. I'm still just trying to figure this out, but I wanted to get this video off. Let me know what you think. Thanks, folks. Be safe.